vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't feel me straight apply. Or when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Beneath the rich, when east and they still when I make it fast. But the schooling's never bad for me, my always still for styles. I'm the horn. Niggas know they cute too, I keep out the bone. But let's get it, you know my me, you miss be up the shown. And when I see a nigga smile, you will stay up front. And if they got me know, then you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. Missing I'm easy, but I hate I wake, so what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as trash. And if I get, I'll keep a far. No some planet, yeah. Taking trash to the sky from my reason to living. All the flu on the blame that resenting you reeling. Jacks kicking out of love, I might never be willing. These you'll never know what you I can never forget. But tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I 7 in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, you know by now it's on the line of people, but you never know this name, it's Kanana sequel. Speaking fresh, taking down, so the solid needle. Put down, stay the time to line like you want the needles. And if you hate when I like the brown, it's like your Cam in the brown till they come now. But like I'm so fresh up and through the moose confused. And now I know what's up and noon and that was all for you. Say you never knew stakes is later Parikana. I was go always not like a bagel, Drake your face. But I was thinking to his soul when y'all was by the Keva. And now I rain, man, I ain't like the make whatever. I say complain, flame mine, you gave me no restriction. This nap so hard, go within and never missing. Convinced that you need love me now, but sure and never tripping. It's the enemies it's all, boy, yo come and get tripping. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I say the name, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream.
Yeah, what up, though, fam? I'm back with another live stream. This is GPTV1 live stream, Monday edition. As I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I got a lot of hot stories I want to cover here tonight. And it's going to get deep. There's a lot going on in this world out there. And GP channel, we like to cover a lot of things. So we're going to get that cracking. Tonight, I will be covering the social media pimp who got sentenced to 35 years. I came across that story. I've seen a lot of podcasters talking about it. And I seen a report about it. And this guy was just all on social media with his pimping and all of that. And that landed him 35 years in prison. And when you look at the Diddy case, so many people think that Diddy should walk, or he ain't doing nothing wrong. That's the feds we're talking about. So we're going to cover that story. Now, of course, we're going to do some Diddy update. And I want to talk about this Iran thing that got going on, because many people think that this president going to get us into World War III. World War III. A lot of people think that. So we're going to look into this ceasefire thing, because Iran allegedly or reportedly attacked the U.S. base in Qatar. But as of now, they're saying it's a ceasefire. So we're going to get into all of that. But before we get into that, I want y'all to check out this public announcement. Welcome to the GP Inner Circle. What up, though, GP fam? I'm excited to announce that the GP membership is now officially active. This is your chance to step up and show your support in a way that truly matters. By joining the Inner Circle, you will unlock exclusive perks tailored just for the most dedicated supporters, because you deserve nothing less. But that's not all. The Super Chat feature is now live, giving you an even greater opportunity to engage with me and the community in real time. Your support fuels my passion and creativity inspiring me to deliver the kind of fire content that only the GP fam deserves. So why wait? Join the GP membership today and be a part of something special. Let's elevate this community together, because when you thrive, we all thrive. Welcome to the inner circle. Your journey starts now. Much love. Yeah, I got some nice perks over there in the membership. And one of the things somebody can get is get their social media promoted on this channel. And I started a new playlist where it goes into talking about financial scandals. So I'm gonna be posting a lot of things to that docu-series. The playlist is up now. I got a couple of videos on there, and I did get a comment on one of the. Let me shout out to that person who left that comment. Let me go to the comment section, family. Check my notifications. Okay. So this is from, that's from, let's go back. Thanks for sharing. Oh, okay. Shades 215. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to Shades 215. I would love to have you come on to the platform as a special guest and do some collaborations and see if you can chime in on some of these topics, these trending topics. So shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to you, rather, and you all can go over there and check out her channel and subscribe. She doing something big over there. So shouts out to you. Let's move on to the pimp. The pimp. This guy right here. This guy right here is off the meat rack. And this is just a case of the addiction of notoriety. And man, I just seen so many cases, line them up. And I made my mistakes on the internet and social media and saying the wrong things and talking out the side of my head, and somebody I may be mad at or something like this, just saying something outrageous. So I did get beside myself a time or two on the internet. And a lot of that had to do with more personable people that's friends on social media. And I would be like, man, it's a bad idea having some of these family people on here. And there's people you know personally, all this stuff, they throw you under the bus, they be all in your business, you promoting your products and all that type of stuff. And because it just be on something else, they ain't got nothing to do with any of this stuff. So the internet can get you beside yourself. And you may start to think that nobody's watching this. Nobody's watching you. But again, this could be a case of this guy pissing somebody off. And what comes with all this is human trafficking. So all that pimping stuff brings some serious charges because they doing a lot of human trafficking. They move these people around from state to state and all that. And they look like some local pimping stuff. And I done met some pimps in my time. It's not like the 70s pimps, they walking around with platform shoes and perms and all that type stuff, They're not looking like Goldie the Mac and Superfly. No, this ain't them days, but pimping, that's probably the number one business, the longest business in history. It's a big business. Definitely that. But you can get on the internet and definitely get beside yourself. I'm gonna go to this report right here on this guy. Let me share my screen here. Share the screen. All right. So, Bellevue pimp sentenced to 35 years after posting crimes on social media. What they say about self-snitching? Matter of fact, y'all should go into the GP store and grab you a no self-snitching shirt. Let me change that screen up. Let me pick something else that's going on with the screen. Let me get something else up here. Let me try this one. There we go. Or this one. Let's see how that's looking. No, that ain't all that. How about this one? Yeah, this one better. It's a lot better. Yeah, you should go to the GP store and grab you one of those no self-snitching shirts. Some popping off. One second. Oh, man. Just lost my article. Let me change that. Bam. Yeah, pull that article back up. My mouse got stuck on or something. This is just technology. Go back to my history and pull that article back up. There you go. There we go. So I'm going to pull this article back up here. Share my screen. Share this screen. Now we back working here. So it's a Bellevue Pimp sentenced 35 years after posting crimes on social media. We'll get y'all one of those no self-snitching t-shirts. A Bellevue man was sentenced to 35 years in prison for multiple charges, including trafficking and promoting prostitution. He was caught bragging on social media about the amount of money he made from being a pimp. The Bellevue Police Department began its investigation last year after discovering potential signs of human trafficking when responding to a domestic violence call. What I just tell y'all, I just told y'all that. You probably pissed somebody off. And what they do, they're gonna pull up all your information. Posting on social media and all that stuff can be used against you. Yeah. So Bellevue last year, okay. The department used social media posts posted by Cedric Dorsey. Social media profile CCC Cash, Chasen said, built a case against him. BDP stated Dorsey, 32, trafficking women for sex and would use violence against them to control them. Isn't that what they saying about Diddy? This guy got 35 years. When Bellevue police investigated the initial domestic violence call, the woman told police Dorsey was her boyfriend and that he was forcing her to perform sex work and give him money earned. The woman later claimed he stomped on her face and forced her to hand over all her earnings. Dorsey would move her between cities, including Seattle, Kent, Renton, and even Las Vegas, and sell her for sex. Yeah, that's trafficking right there. When Bellevue officers used warrants to search Dorsey's home, they found 3 firearms, including an AK alongside $1,000 in cash. Dorsey, who already has multiple felony convictions, including theft, burglary, attempting to elude police. Okay. I want to go to some of the social media posts. This 35-year sentence will be followed by a term of community custody. And I want to go to some of the social media posts because I found some. Did find some of that. Let me stop sharing that screen right there. And let me go over here, and I want to go to a social media post. I did find it. Let me share my screen right here. Yeah, so that's him right there. Let's check out what he's saying on these posts.
Intimidated of me, you feel me? Because I got standards and I got expectations. Not like the nigga though, bitch. You feel me out? Not like your nigga though, bitch. You feel me out? Because I really take care of my bitches, man. You know, and I really, you know, put them first, man. You know, because they put this pimping first, man. You dig what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I'm really pimping war. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I did last night? Yeah. I ate baked chicken. You dig what I'm saying? Stuffed potatoes. You dig what I'm saying? And with salad with cucumbers in there. And you know what I did? I went to sleep and gave my dame the keys and told her, go get me some money. You dig what I'm saying? So she was down for like 6 hours. You hear what I'm saying? And yeah, she came back with 1,000. Yeah, pimpin'. Yeah, that's how it goes down, babe. You know, if she's gonna continue
Oh,
making some
professional
progression,
world.
because she's gonna continue living with the purpose. So the purpose is chatty, baby. A lot of you bitches is intimidated of me, you feel me? Because I got standards and I got expectations. Not like the nigga though, bitch. You feel me out? Not like your nigga though, bitch. You feel me out? Because I really take care of my bitches, man. You know, and I really, you know, put them first, man.
Because the next start out. Hold on. This guy made a music video about his pimping. Hell, rappers do that. Let's play some more of this. Oh, my lamp dropped. I gotta excuse that.
Give it to me, baby. I'll be sure to give this. He can never pimp you like I ever know. And he can never.
You know, because they put this pimp
Okay. So that's a couple of videos.
first, man. You do. Like,
Let me come out of there. Y'all can follow me on Instagram too. I'm on Thread though too. What is this right here? Okay, there's some other videos out there that got more of his videos. I'm gonna go to YouTube on that one. So let me stop sharing that. Let me stop sharing that. And it's another video with this guy writing about his business online. Stepping in the building, click that like button. It don't cost nothing to click that like button. I appreciate it. Talking about this pimp, the social media pimp that got 35 years in prison. And you compare that to Diddy's case. You can compare that to Diddy's case, but let me find this guy again. This guy. I seen another video where he's sharing some of that stuff he was talking about online. Let me see. Pimp sentenced to 35 years. 35 years. I think this is it right here. Let me try to share my screen and share it with you all. Found one little clip right here. Let me share my screen. I think it got some of them, those clips he was making.
Check out the new whip.
Tight.
Fully custom.
Pretty Bud Light's
I'm gonna
gonna
show.
Yeah, Molly and Preston, Bellevue police say this all started out as a routine patrol call where a couple of officers thought something didn't quite look right. That led to prosecutors saying they were able to take down a vicious pimp who was abusing a woman and selling her for sex work while keeping the money for himself.
so trying to tell me leave alone?
On social media,
It's trying to tell me leave money alone.
Cedric Dorsey painted himself as a pimp
Why I'm a pimp.
with money, swagger, and influence.
SCCC 333.
But investigators say his lifestyle was built by forced sex work as Dorsey trafficked a woman into prostitution in Seattle, Bellevue, Kent, and Las Vegas. It all came undone in 2024 when Bellevue police responded to a domestic violence call involving Dorsey and his victim.
They listened to what that victim was telling them and realized things weren't just adding up for her and what she was saying, and that she was in a very dangerous situation.
Bellevue Police Major Ellen Inman says patrol officers noticed signs of trafficking and called detectives.
When you ask them questions, they're answering repeatedly in these kind of scripted or answers that sound like they're rehearsed. When they served the search warrant on his premise, they recovered 12,000.
Tell y'all something. Y'all get in those interrogation rooms, they do pay attention to y'all behavior. They pay close attention to that. They got people that's experts at that. And I even be sharing that on this channel right here. Let's go back to that and listen to a little bit more.
$1,000 in cash, along with those 3 firearms, one of which was stolen, and a banned firearm.
King County prosecutors hit Dorsey with charges of human trafficking, promoting prostitution, and unlawful possession of a firearm.
We see very significant violence, strangulation, beatings, assaults.
Prosecutor Brayla McGinnis tried Dorsey's case where his own social media posts were used as evidence, including this one about the 305
Stop by the GP store and grab you a no self-snitching t-shirt.
For Oath, where prostitutes promise not to cooperate with police and say they aren't victims.
One of the biggest rules of the game is not to talk to police. It is that idea of selling the dream, right? Saying, I have these nice things. If you come with me, you can have all of this, right? And when you're talking to someone who has had a very rough upbringing or a very troubled life, that's the vulnerability that they exploit.
That's the way I look at social media and the use of different ways that people advertise their criminal activity, is that if you make it available for the Bellevue Police Department in this case to access and use as part of our lawful investigation, then that's what we will do.
After being found guilty at trial this spring, Dorsey is now starting.
Stop by the GP store and grab you a no self-snitching t-shirt. Let's go.
35-year prison sentence.
We were able to take a very dangerous criminal off the street and hold him accountable for his actions.
Now, local and state officials have been really...
Yeah, he got sentenced to 35 years. And according to law enforcement, he was very violent. And human trafficking that comes with the pimping gang. They definitely be trafficking these women. It's just a big business. Definitely that. And they go out there and they take all the money back to the guy. And that's really a rough life. It's a rough life, and it gets even harder for the independent women because the pimps be watching all of that, like all the little sex tracks and all that stuff. The pimps be around watching them tracks and stuff. They ain't just sitting back in a hotel just waiting on them to bring back money. They be out there checking on them women. They be watching what they doing and all that stuff. And so you can't like deal with them and think you're gonna run some whatever on them. They looking at them picking up the Johns and all of that. But this guy right here got 35 years doing some serious charges. And that's pretty much what Diddy is facing. You talking human trafficking, that's that Homeland Security type of deal. But let's move on from the pimp, the social media pimp. Again, y'all got to stop with y'all business, y'all illegal businesses on social media. This guy just on social media just bragging, he's just a pimp, he a pimp. And they turned around and used all that information against him in this case. Again, stop by the GP store and get you one of those no self-snitching t-shirts. So you can't go in there saying people snitching on you when you're snitching on yourself. And this is another case where somebody got mad at him. Same thing with Diddy. When people get mad at you, they're gonna try to take you down, buddy. That's for sure. Let's move on. This Iran stuff. I'll be checking out all kind of stuff. All this stuff affects us, literally. And gas prices are already starting to go up a little bit. Especially when stuff happens in the Middle East, when America gets involved in all of that. Gas start going up. The economy can get wacky, but a lot of people predict that this guy will start Third World War. And they say he called a ceasefire on this. So let's see what they're talking about with this Trump stuff. He says, because they said the Iranian people attacked some base in Qatar. That was the earlier reports. But let's see what they said about this ceasefire stuff. Let me share my screen. Share that. Let's get some sound going on.
It's called for peace tonight following an attack by Iran on a US military airbase in Qatar in revenge for US strikes on its nuclear facilities at the weekend. This evening, Mr. Trump, writing on social media, said that Iran had got it out of its system and that hopefully there'd be no further hate. He also thanked Iran for giving the US prior warning of the strikes. More on the attack in a moment, but first let's go straight to Washington and to Sarah Smith. So is this Mr. Trump calling for de-escalation, Sarah?
Well, absolutely. We have not heard definitively from the US administration that they don't intend to launch a retaliatory tit-for-tat attack. But President Trump does not sound like somebody who is ready to do that when he posts on social media in all capital letters, "Congratulations, world, it's time for peace." Now, they knew here inside the White House that there was inevitably going to be a retaliatory attack from Iran. What they didn't know was how aggressive or how destructive it was going to be. And in fact, what we saw was an Iranian action that was pretty much deliberately designed to do as little damage as possible. I mean, what's happened today must be one of the most careful and frankly polite military exchanges in.
All them people in all those other countries, they on a high alert. Definitely that. And one thing I gotta say about those reporters, they be going flying over there where they just drop bombs and all that stuff. Then you got these reporters be right next to where the bomb dropped at. Like, damn, like them reporters be everywhere, literally. Let's go.
In recent history, you had Iran warning the United States in advance of what they were going to do. And then in a post on social media, Donald Trump has even been thanking them. He said, "I would like to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region. I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same." And Donald Trump then went on to say that Iran had now got everything out of their system. So that sounds very much like he is ready to declare this over, and it's difficult to imagine why Iran would be planning further action after the great care and
This is war games, baby, war games.
delicacy they have taken over the attack today. It was not guaranteed this was going to go this way when Donald Trump launched those airstrikes on Saturday night against Iran's nuclear facilities. He could not be sure that this is how Iran was going to respond. This is a best case scenario in many ways for the United States and for President Trump, and there will be great relief.
So he's saying that Iran actually reached out to him, let him know they finna bomb Qatar. Get your people out of there. At least that's what this report is saying.
Inside the White House, that this is how it's gone down.
Sarah Smith, thank you very much. Well, tonight the US has lifted the advice to its citizens in Qatar to stay indoors. Qatar says all the Iranian missiles which were aimed at the US military base were intercepted and that there were no casualties. A statement by Iran said that 6 missiles were launched, the same number used in the American attack on its nuclear site in Fordo. This report is by our security correspondent, Frank Gardner.
A normal night out in Qatar, but there was nothing normal about this.
Whoa!
6 Iranian ballistic missiles arching through the sky, aimed at America's airbase.
That's some stuff right there, man. You know, we experienced some things over here in this country, but we ain't never seen no missiles just fly over here like that from other countries. But it definitely be happening over there in the Middle East. They used to that type stuff. But that's some stuff just be doing your thing and all of a sudden missiles come flying by.
Retaliation for the recent US raid on Iran. There were no casualties, and all the missiles were intercepted by air defenses. For expats like this British teacher in Doha, it was still a shock.
And I can only describe it as it was mesmerizing and terrifying all in one.
I bet it was.
And what we saw were these really bright lights that were suspended in the sky. And then all of a sudden they would shoot towards something and there'd be an explosion.
Iran released these pictures of what it says was the missiles being launched, calling it Operation Heralds of Conquest. Crucially, it gave Qatar advance notice.
And they be documenting all this stuff, like all these countries. It's a part of history, you know. Cameras be following these wars, and they be following around these heads of states. You can see them; they showing where they lost the missiles. So this stuff be well documented.
Time for its residents to take cover. This was a dramatic yet carefully calibrated attack. The US has around 17 air bases dotted all over the Middle East, as well as naval facilities and land bases in Iraq.
Not to mention the warships over there.
Hosts the most important airbase of all at Al Udeid, on the edge of the Qatari capital Doha. But it's close to Iran. As these satellite images show, In early June, it was hosting aircraft. 2 weeks later, they'd been evacuated. Al Udeid is normally buzzing with warplanes. It's the forward headquarters for US Central Command in the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing that right there. So right now, they're supposed to have some type of ceasefire in place. That's incredible. And these type of people, like those Middle Eastern people, it's the traditional things that they're doing, like launching these missiles and all of that. But those people over there, they play guerrilla warfare. Like they do suicide bombing type stuff. So that's why those citizens that's over there better beware. Like they ain't all about just shooting missiles everywhere. See, U.S., they want to drop bombs. But those people over there, they know they don't have those type of bombs and the equipment like these big countries like America. So they have to do guerrilla warfare. You know, they dropping bombs on themselves and suicide bombs. That's their game mode when you're dealing with these type people. You know, so, but right now they say it's some type of ceasefire. We'll see how far they go. All these sanctions and all that stuff, that stuff don't be working on these people. And they got allies too. They got people that helps them. It's just how the world goes. All these countries be lining up with each other. This country be beefing with this country, but this country helping them beef with the country without being directly in the war. So right now, we're gonna move on to my next story, which is Diddy. Before I get to that, take a small break so I can grab me something cool to drink. You can grab you something cool to drink, grab you a snack or something like that. But on that note, I shall return. Okay, fam, I'm back with y'all. This is GPTV1 Live. I will be live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, covering some of the hottest topics out there, some of the biggest headlines, and bring y'all some great commentary. Get over to the membership, check out the GP membership. The super chat is wide open, and if you're feeling generous, you can send a little something to my Cash App. Every little bit helps keep the hustle going and keep this channel thriving. And your support means everything to me. So go check all this stuff out. And we're going to get to the Diddy update. As they say, the prosecution has rested their case. And it was reported that I don't think the defense is going to call any witnesses. I don't think Diddy is going to call any witnesses. At least that's what's been reported. So let's check out this news report on Diddy and see what's going on with this case. It's definitely winding down. And like I said, that earlier story with this guy right here, same thing. Human trafficking, pimping, coercion, fraud, violence. And one of those girls got mad and ran to the police. Now he's doing 35, just gave him 35 years. He all on social media with all of this. And you look at the Diddy case. But let's check out this update. If you're in the building, click that like button. Let's check out the Diddy update and see what it's at, where that story at. Find the story right quick. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen with this one. All right. Let me expand that. get some sound.
City now, where we're hearing from the government's final witness today in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. The prosecution is expected to rest their case by the end of the week. So let's go to CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. She's live outside the New York City courthouse. Katrina, thank you for being with us today. What have we heard so far today?
We are hearing from the prosecution's final witness. This is a special agent, and what he's been doing is going through these extensive charts. And I will say it's some of the drier testimony that we've heard in this courtroom, but it is important because we're seeing an alignment of all of these coordinating of plans. For example, these are all related to Jane. That was one of the alleged victims who testified in this case under a pseudonym. There's so much back and forth between Sean Combs and, in particular, Christina Coram. She's his former chief of staff, previously a former assistant, and the prosecutors have made it clear that they view her as a co-conspirator in this trial. So we're hearing audio messages. We're seeing communications between them, also with the woman who coordinated his travel, Jessica Ruiz, with security. They're going and getting thousands of dollars out of the safe for Sean Combs. And all of this is bringing together these racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking allegations, how these women and then also escorts or entertainers were being transited to different places where Combs was, how he was communicating with people who worked for him, and they were helping to facilitate this. There was also a telling message, I thought, from Christina Coram, where I guess there was one night where they left in the middle of the night, and she wrote to him.
Okay, we heard enough about Christina Coram. And when did this come out? Okay, that was a few hours ago. So apparently it's this investigator who was the last person that the prosecution is going to put on the stand. I want to find out more information because I've seen something where it says Diddy won't be calling any witnesses to the stand. It's another crazy story. I'm going to cover that story before I actually get off of here. I'm trying to find that Diddy story. I'm not going to look too deep into it. If I let's get a recap from Court TV. Let's get a recap on this. So when was this? Okay, this came from an hour ago, so this is a fresher update. You ready to share my screen? Okay. Let me share this story. Then I got one last story I want to share. That story is definitely crazy, man. There's some wild stuff be going on out here for real. Crazy world. Let's see what Court TV talking about.
The sex trafficking trial heard from another one of Sean Combs' assistants who testified about buying drugs for the music mogul's freak-off sex parties. Here are highlights from day 27 of the federal trial.
How were you introduced to other drug dealers?
Same kind of thing, or just given a number and handled it from there.
Who gave you their numbers?
Most of the time it was other assistants.
Did Mr. Combs ever give you contact information for drug dealers?
Too much.
Once or twice.
And focusing back on this particular chat, why were you reaching out to baby girl?
I believe to secure drugs.
For who?
Mr. Combs.
And focusing on the last couple of chats, do you see
the guy was a co-conspirator?
The message from baby girl LA Plug at 11:47 that says, "Is it for you or Puff?"
I do.
What do you say in response?
Puff.
Can you read your next chat?
But please don't disclose that. You can tell whoever it's for me.
What did you mean by that?
It was just very important to keep his profile low as he was a celebrity, and people could screenshot this and could say, "Hey, I was asked to get drugs for Diddy."
Thank you, Ms. Foster. You can take this down. After you obtained drug...
That's the drug meal right there. See what else they talking about. Just covering him. We already talked about him the other day. So that's the drug meal. And one of those reports says actually an agent is the last witness in this case. So this came from an hour ago. Yeah, so they winding down this case, and they believe there's going to be a verdict as soon as early next week. They don't think there's going to be a long out jury thing. Again, compared to these cases, this guy not famous at all. He just had a little social media page, and they gave him 35 years. And this guy pretty much had the same thing going on. It's crazy. But there's one other story I want to get to. This story is beyond crazy. Let me find that story. I got it loaded up here. Let me see if it's still up here. Okay, yeah, these guys are so young. Man, that's a hard road right there. I'm ready to share my screen on this particular story. I'm having a great time. I always do this for you all. You can follow me on social media. You all can follow me on social media. It's all to the good. I'm on X and Threads. You in the building, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, because I'm really trying to get my notifications up. And I want to say salute to all the new subscribers. Y'all keep chiming in. And I'm just going to keep loading it up with content and great ideas for docuseries. I got a documentary coming out soon. I doubt if I load it up on YouTube. It's probably come out on some other platform. It's going to be a full length. And I'm actually thinking about doing 2 of them. But I was spent yesterday working on that. And it'd be days I have to take off to do some maintenance to this channel and keep things updated. And then I got to have time to work on the documentary. The documentary going to be cold too. I'm working on the script for it right now and getting all the information together. It's probably going to be about an hour and a half long. And again, I'm not going to post it on YouTube. Definitely going to be on another platform. And I feel really great about it when I start writing and doing the research and just putting that script together. So right now I'm in Act 1. That's coming up soon. I see a couple of people in the building. I want to thank you for joining me. And make sure y'all catch me on Wednesday as well. I will be live. But I want to share this story right here. This is insane. These young cats. This happened over there. And man, it just be a lot of stuff happening in that Dallas area. This happened in Arlington. And this is a nationwide story because I remember this story. I actually caught these guys.
After 2 teenagers were killed at a house party in Arlington, police say several people are now in custody. The shooting happened at an Airbnb the week of Thanksgiving. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke with investigators about what led them to the suspects.
Arlington police tell us this case was complex. Multiple witnesses were at the party, but many were not telling the truth to investigators or just did not come forward at all. But through search warrants, phone records, and interviews, investigators learned that this was a dispute over money.
5 suspects are now in custody, connected to a November double homicide off Slaughter Street in Arlington. A birthday party was being hosted at an Airbnb near AT&T Stadium when gunfire erupted.
Yeah, I remember that
19-year-old Dayton Allen and 18-year-old Alexis Tyler were shot and killed. The 2 victims were dating. Tyler was pregnant at the time. Arlington police believe Allen owed the suspects money and the murder was planned.
I don't know the sum amount, I really don't, but no life is worth any amount of money like that.
All 5 suspects were charged with capital murder this week. Arlington police tell Fox 4 the lack of witness cooperation delayed their investigation. Plus, homicide detectives had to wait for warrants to be fulfilled on cell phone records. Police learned the group met up in Dallas and then traveled to Arlington that night. Then multiple people opened fire at the Airbnb and took off.
Man.
Police say one of the suspects, 26-year-old Diamond Curdy, is related to the male victim. Curdy was a...
Whoa. So there's a female that set it up, and she was related to the victim. She helped set it up. What are you getting out of this? What's your beef with cuz? What's your beef with cuz? I mean, family, man, I just got through talking about that. So I just got through talking about that. So fam can be enemies too. Some people just radical family people, and they go all out to try to keep family together and all that type stuff. I feel you, man. But some of these family members can be some of the worst people ever, literally.
Arrested by Dallas police on Thursday.
She played a part in the planning stages of this. We're making 5 arrests here. There were 5 individuals that played a role in this, and she was a key element of that plan.
With the help of the U.S. Marshals North Texas Fugitive Task Force, 18-year-old Chrysavion Whitted, 19-year-old Eddie Walker Jr., and 21-year-old Demarion Owens were arrested on.
All 3 of them look deranged. All of them young too. Y'all barely got mustaches. But how much money is this? Literally.
Wednesday. The 5th suspect, 20-year-old Shannon Steele, was already.
Man, come on, dude. I mean, you woke up in the morning and looked at yourself. You just didn't like yourself.
Jailed in connection to another prominent crime. Steele was arrested in December. For a deadly shootout in 2022 outside a Dallas sports bar. The case featured on Fox 4's Trackdown segment.
We were desperate to solve this case in a timely manner. We're just really proud of the tenacity of the detectives. I
wanted to share that story because when I was doing my research, I just came across so many storylines like that. And it's a lot of the time they just be throwing their life out. They be crashing out. So you got to get a crash out for that. Give you a crash out for that one. Yeah, I got to give you a crash out for that one. These guys be out here crashing out for sure. Definitely. Okay, I'm back with y'all. I had some technical difficulties. I had to restart this thing. It just booted me all the way out, logged me out. That's the thing about all this try to do live streams. We try to have a good show, and there's always some technical stuff that may happen. It kicked me straight out the whole thing. I mean, just logged me out and everything. But I'm back with y'all, and I was talking about this crazy case with those kids. I've seen some other cases too. And I was just, man, real. So let me go back to that page. Go back to that story I just was playing. So that's not it. Just trying to find that story I was just on before he kicked me out of there. That story, yeah. Let's just go back to my history. Yeah, that was it right there. There was another story I had watched too that was crazy. CAC crackdown in Allen. Oh, that's the same story. There was another story I believe came out of Texas. And it was insane with that one. But anyway, folks, it's time for me to get out of here. Thank y'all for joining me once again. Don't forget to catch me on Wednesday. Wednesday, it's going down. It's going down in a major way. Oh, that's the wrong one. Give myself a shout out. Yeah, it's going down Wednesday in a major way. Y'all stay tuned for that. But anyway, I'm out of here.